I'm going to see if I can quickly show you the A major scale harmonized with the roots on the 5th string, harmonized in 7th chords. So it's going to sound like this. First chord is going to be an A major 7. Second chord is going to be a B minor 7. The next chord is C sharp minor 7. Next chord, D major 7. Next chord, an E7. The next chord, an F sharp minor 7. The next chord, a G sharp, half diminished. And the next chord, an A major 7. So you can just use those 7 chords to move up and down the scale. And it's a great fundamental structure to get a sense of how a key works using chords very common in jazz, okay? So, there's only 3 shapes here that we're dealing with. So, no, I'm wrong, 4 shapes, 4 shapes. Let's get those down. So first of all, we're gonna make the A major scale run from the open A here to the 12th string, okay? Now, we jump 1 step to a B, then right next to B we have a C sharp, but we need a whole tone for a major scale. So we're going to get a C sharp note, okay? C sharp in my system is a white note. Then we're going to get a D note, and then we're going to get an E note. Remember, it's a half step between the 3rd and 4th degree, an E note. We need an F sharp note, which is a black note in my system. And then we're going to need a G sharp note, which is the aqua velva note here. G sharp. Aqua velva. I call that aqua velva. You know, I could call it light blue or cerulean or sky blue or something like that, but I like aqua velva. Reminds me of my dad. So there we go. These are the roots of the chords. So the 1 and the 4 chord are going to have the same shape of chord, okay? They're going to have the 5th. The 5th of A is an E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there it is, same note. The 4th, the 5th of D, this is the 4th chord now. It's going to have the same shape as this, it's a major 7 chord. So it's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to have a blue note as its 5th, that's an A. And then it's going to have a major 7 right here, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need our cerulean note, or our aqua velva note. And we need the same thing here. We need the major 7 of the D. That's going to be a C sharp. It's going to be the same note as is behind here. And then we need the 3rd. From A, you need a C sharp here to be the 3rd. And we need the 3rd for here, for the which is going to be an F sharp, okay? So, let's take the other notes out of this that we didn't use. Take the B note out, and take the C sharp note out, and take the E out, and the F sharp, take the rest of the scale out. So we just see this basic 4-note voicing of the A chord, which is just the root and this triangle shape here. The root and this triangle shape. The distances from here to here, and here to here, and here to here are identical on both chords, okay? So we're playing an open A, and then that E, and then that G sharp, and then that C sharp is an A major 7 chord. This is the 1, 5, 7, 3 of A. Now we're going to go 1, 5, 7, 3 of D. So we move this whole shape up, but because we can't use the open string, we have to change our fingering. So we can put our index finger there, and then use our other fingers to make this triangle. But it's the same shape. 1, 5, 7, 3, 1, 5, 7, 3. Going here, 1, 5, 7, 3. Yeah, you can get a nice little jam. The A chord, moving up to the D chord. But these are major 7 chords. Okay? Now the other major chord we're going to have is the 5 chord. The 5 chord is a major chord as well, but it's not a major 7, it's a dominant 7 chord. Major 7 chord is that the 7 is right below the root. Remember, this is an octave from here to here. We're not playing this. If we were to play this would be just a plain D major chord. But we lift this up, we get the major 7, right? Same with this. If we were to play this note here, we'd have just a plain A major chord. Lift this up, we get the A major 7 chord. Okay? So, the 5 chord is going to be this E note here. We need the 5th of A, of E, which is the E, F, G, A, B. B is going to be our 5th. I didn't count E, F sharp, G sharp, and so on, because I just need the letters to figure out what the 5th letter is going to be. So we need the 1, the 5. We need now the 7. The 7 in E is E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Okay? Now that's going to be an octave of this. Notice that this 7 is not right below the tonic. This would be, the root. This would be the E root here. This is further back. Okay? And now we need a G sharp for our 3rd. Okay? So I'm going to take the D chord away, the E, D, the A, the C sharp, and the F sharp of the D chord away so that we can see what the 5 chord looks like compared to the 1 chord. This is the difference. This would be like the 5 chord, dominant chord. This is a major 7 chord. This is a dominant chord. This is a major 7 chord. It has to do with the quality of the 7. If the 7 is the 7th degree as it appears in the major scale, then it's called a major 7 chord. If the 7 is lowered 1 step, so it's in fact a flat 7, then we call that a dominant chord. And the 5 chord, this is the 5th note of the scale of A, is the only chord that has this dominant shape, this particular shape. So this occurs only once. Very useful in centering yourself in the key if you can find where this chord happens, okay? And it's always this far away from the root. So if you are in the root, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 steps will get you to the 5th, or if you know your scale, you can go, this is the 1 of the scale, 2 of the scale, 3 of the scale, 4 of the scale, and the 5 of the scale, okay? So we have 2 of these on the 1 and the 4. We have 1 of these on the 5, and that takes care of the 3 major chords that we have. And then we have 3 minor chords as well. So our minor chords are going to be on the 2, the 3, and the 6. And they're all going to be shaped exactly the same. So once we've got that figured out, we can just move that around as a very versatile shape. So in A, the 6 is an F sharp. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. There's our 6. A minor chord has the same kind of 5 as a major chord. In fact, only the diminished chord, only the 7th chord will not have this. So 6 out of the 7 chords have this shape for a 5 in there, okay? So the 5 of F sharp, I can just count from F. F, G, A, B, C is going to be a C. But we don't have a C in the key of A, so it's going to have to be a C sharp. There it is, okay? And the 7, counting from F sharp again, F, or just counting from F, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. It's going to be an E. We do have an E in the key of A, so it's going to look like that. And then the third is going to be different than this. You notice this distance here? That's what a major third looks like. A minor third is going to be one step lower than that. So instead of having this third happening here, we're going to have the third here. What is the third of F sharp? Just go F, G, A. It's going to be the tonic of the key. All right? So that's our F sharp. Let's remove the E chord so we see the F sharp clearly. Here goes the 1 of the E, the 5 of the E, the 7 of the E, and the 3 of the E, and we're left here with a nice F sharp shape. F sharp minor 7 shape, okay? So the 7, remember how it was on the 5 chord? They were in the same fret, the 1 and the 7, whereas in the major 7, it's not in the same fret. The 7 is 1 fret this way. But on the 5 chord, which is a major chord, and all the minor chords, in fact, even on the diminished chord, the 7 is what's called a minor 7. Instead of a major 7 like that, it's like that. So this is a minor 7 chord, but the minor here is referring to the 3. And we just assume that this is a minor 7 here. Okay, so we're going to have this shape on the 2 chord, which is the B chord, and on the 3 chord, which is the C sharp. So let's remove our A major chord, which was the 1 chord, and make this shape for, see this shape on both of these. So they're both going to have the same 5th, they're both going to have the same 7th, a minor 7th, and they're both going to have the same 3rd, a minor 3rd. Okay. So should I spell it out? No, I think you can figure it out yourself, right? You can figure out what notes these have got to be. That's a worthwhile exercise. Remember, they just have to be the notes from the A major scale, which I showed you here earlier on. And then we have one more kind of chord, which happens only once again, and that's the diminished chord. That's the chord that's built on the 7th degree. So if A was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it would be right here. And it's a G sharp note. It's the aqua velva note. Okay? And as I said before, what's different about this diminished chord is it does not have the perfect 5th. It has a flat 5. Okay? So the flat 5 in the key, in the a G sharp. A G sharp normally would have a D sharp for a 5, but now it just has a plain D, which makes it a flat 5. It has the same 7 as the 5 chord and all the minor chords. So the 7 of this I could count up all the way, but the 7 is always 1 note right below this. So it's going to be a black note. It's going to be an F sharp. And then the 3rd is going to be the same as the minor thirds. So this distance right here. Um, where am I having trouble with? It's going to be a B note. Okay. All right. So let's remove this F sharp minor chord. And we can see that that is our last shape. Quite an easy one to grab and to visualize. So that's a 1, a flat 5, a minor 7, and a minor 3rd. So this is called a half diminished chord. It's also called a minor 7 flat 5 because this is what all the minor 7 chords look like. You flatten the 5 and suddenly it's different. It's the diminished chord which appears only once. Okay? So again, we have major chords. I'm going to change the coloring system now just to black and white so we can alternate between major and minor. I'm going to put a major chord down first here. This is the tonic chord. This is the 1 chord. That's the major 7 shape. This is the 2 chord. That's going to be a minor 7 shape. Notice the 7 is in the same row on the minor chords. This is also going to be a 2 chord. It's the same shape again. I'm just making it in black this time so you can see the alternating colors. So that's the same shape as this. 2 chord and 3 chord, or no matter what key. So this is not reference to a specific key. Every key, whatever 1 is, if 1 is over here, the whole pattern starts over here, right? This is what a whole major key looks like on strings 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're not playing strings 1 and 6 for this. Okay, the 4 chord is going to be here. 4 chord is the same structure as the 1 chord. 1, 5, 7, 3, 1, 5, 7, 3. And then, or the major 7, I should say, major 7 here. And we are going to have the 5 chord. The 5 chord has the 1, 5, and 3, just like the other 2 major chords, the 1 and 4 chords, but the 7 is not here. The 7 is here. And then we're going to have a minor chord, which is shaped the same way as the 2 and the 3 chord. That's the 1 and the 5, the 7, and the minor 3. There's a minor 7, minor 3. And so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we need the 7 chord, which is a diminished chord. It's got the 1, it's got the flat 5 here. It's got a 7, just like the minors and the dominant major chord. But it also has a minor. And then we're back to the 1 chord here, which now has changed colors because there's an odd number of colors, odd number of chords in this system. Okay, this is back to the 1 chord. All right. So that would be worth remembering. So I'm playing the black notes here. I'm playing these white notes here as the 2 chord, B minor 7. Playing the black notes here as the 3 chord, C sharp minor 7. Playing the white notes, that's a 4 chord. That's D major 7. Playing the black notes here, this is the dominant chord, the 5 chord. E dominant 7, not major 7. This would be major 7, this is dominant 7. We just say 7. E7 implies dominant 7. The D minor chord, E F sharp minor chord, that is the 6th chord. That's shaped the same as the 2 chord and the 2 chord and the 3 chord. And then we have the diminished, that's on G sharp diminished, the black notes here. and then we're back to the same shape here, except now we can't play this open. We have to finger this. That's our A. And you can just jam around those chords once you get them down. Good way to do it is to jam around using the same form. So the 4 has the same chord, so I'm finding the 1 here, the root here of the open A, and I'm finding my D note here on the 4th, but I got the same chord, so I can go, and I can jump all the way up to the octave to play the 1 chord again. A chord, or A major 7, D major 7, 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 and then you can just slide this D major 7 up 1 whole tone and change the 7 chord by lifting up your middle finger. When you lift up the middle finger, you get the dominant chord. Yeah. It's kind of Freudian, isn't it? And then the 3 minor chords should be studied together. The 2 chord here on the B, the D minor, slide that whole shape up 2 frets and you get the C sharp minor. And then slide the whole thing up to get to fret 9 here, the F sharp. That's the 6th chord. That's the relative minor of the A chord. Notice the relative minor is always a minor 3rd below the 1 chord. Okay. And then finally, you just got that diminished chord, which happens only once. And since that happens only once, and the 5 chord happens only once, it might be a good idea to go practice going back and forth between the 7 chord and the 5 chord. And then you can resolve to 1 major, A major. See, the 7 chord has kind of the same function as the 5 chord. They kind of sound like they could do the same job. They can do the same job of leading into that, right? Here's the 5 chord. Bum, 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 leading to the 1. But now I'm going to play the 7 chord, and it should feel pretty much the same. Bum, 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 bum. Right? And that's where you get into chord substitutions, when you see that 2 chords have a similar function. But anyways, here are we call them the 7 chord systems because each of them goes up to the 7th. It's always 1, 5, 7, 3 of the 1 chord, 1, 5, 7, 3 of the 2 chord, 1, 5, 7, 3 of the 3 chord, 1, 5, 7, 3 of the 4 chord, 1, 5, 7, 3 of the 5 chord, 1, 5, 7, 3 of the 6 chord, 1, 5, 7, 3 of the 7 chord, and back to 1, 5, 7, 3 of the 1 chord. Not playing the high string, not playing the low string, just pinching so that your thumb can play the lowest note here along the 5th string, and your other fingers are plucking these 3 notes together, and you get that whole system of chords that is just super, super valuable in playing jazz. Have fun.